Hey, my fellow anglers and friends of the frosty waters, your old fishing buddy is back with the latest scoop, and today we're diving deep into the fishing forecast for a very special winter day, Saturday, January 10th, 2026. This day, my friends, holds a subtle promise for those brave enough to face the cold. While many might think winter means no fish, I'm here to tell you that with the right knowledge, you can turn a slow day into a memorable one. Stick around because I'm going to reveal why this specific January day might just surprise you with some incredible action, especially if you understand the nuances of the cold bite. Let's talk tactics because in winter, it's all about precision. Based on what we're seeing, a few species are prime targets today. First up, the mighty pike. In these colder conditions, pike are still on the prowl, but they're not going to chase far. You'll want to focus your efforts near deeper drop-offs, the edges of submerged weed beds, or around prominent underwater structures like old timber or rock piles. Why these spots? Because baitfish, their primary food, will often congregate there for warmth and cover, and the pike will be patiently waiting. For tackle, a medium-heavy spinning rod with 20 to 30-pound braid is ideal. As for lures, I'd recommend larger, slow-moving presentations. Think big jigging wraps, lipless crankbaits, or even a dead bait presentation under a tip-up if you're ice fishing. A little trick: work those lures agonizingly slow. Let them sit, twitch, let them sit again. Patience is key. Next, let's talk about the ever-popular perch. These guys are schooling up big time in winter. Look for them in the deeper basins of lakes, often 20 to 40 feet down, especially near subtle humps or depressions on the bottom. They'll also be found schooled tightly near the deepest breaks where they can find stable temperatures and concentrate on smaller baitfish or insect larvae. Light tackle is your friend here. An ultralight spinning rod or an ice fishing combo. Small spoons, horizontal jigs tipped with a maggot or a waxworm, or even a small drop-shot rig with a tiny soft plastic bait will be deadly. Remember, once you find one perch, you've likely found a whole school. And for those chasing something a bit more elusive, the walleye could be on the menu. Walleye in winter are often nocturnal feeders, but on a day like today, with stable pressure, you might find them active during low-light conditions at dawn and dusk, or even midday in deeper, darker waters. Target points, humps, or main lake breaks in 15 to 35 feet of water, especially those with some rock or gravel bottom. They'll be hugging the bottom, ambushing unsuspecting baitfish. A medium-light spinning rod with a sensitive tip is crucial. My go-to lures would be blade baits, vertical jigging lures like Rapala jigging wraps, or even a slow-trolled minnow on a bottom bouncer if you're on open water. Again, slow and subtle is the name of the game. Now let's break down the conditions for January 10th, 2026, and understand why we're making these recommendations. First, the weather. Across much of the United States, we're looking at a classic winter day, likely following a recent cold front. Temperatures will be quite cold, generally hovering between 15 and 30 degrees Fahrenheit, or -9 to -1 degrees Celsius in the northern and central states. Expect clear skies and mostly stable atmospheric pressure, perhaps a high-pressure system settling in. This means lighter winds, probably coming from the west or northwest at about 5 to 10 miles per hour, and very little to no precipitation. Stable, cold conditions often mean a more consistent, albeit slower, bite compared to rapidly changing weather, which can shut fish down completely. Stable pressure tends to keep fish a bit more predictable, though still lethargic. The water temperature will be absolutely frigid, often near the freezing point of 32 degrees Fahrenheit in shallower areas. In deeper lakes, you might find slightly warmer water, maybe 35 to 38 degrees Fahrenheit, or 1 to 3 degrees Celsius at the bottom. This stable, slightly warmer deep water is exactly where fish will seek refuge. Their metabolism slows dramatically in these cold temperatures, so they're not going to be chasing aggressively. This is why slow presentations are paramount. As for the moon phase on January 10, 2026, we're looking at a last quarter moon. Now, many old-school anglers believe that fishing during the last quarter can be hit or miss. Some say the bite is tougher as the moon wanes, while others report good success, especially during the moon's rise or set. While lunar phases can be a factor, in winter I personally find stable weather and water conditions to be far more influential. However, it's always good to keep an eye on those lunar tables for potential minor bite windows. Overall, the general activity of fish in the United States for this time of year, especially on this day, will be low. Most species are in full winter mode, conserving energy. Warm water species like bass will be sluggish, hugging the bottom in deep cover. Cold water species like pike, perch, and walleye will still feed, but their feeding windows will be shorter, and their movements will be minimal. They won't expend much energy chasing. This means you need to bring the bait right to them and entice them with a slow, deliberate presentation. So, what's my overall assessment of the bite for January 10th, 2026? I'd say it's going to be a challenging but potentially rewarding bite. It won't be a fish every cast kind of day, but if you're patient, target the right depths and structures, and employ ultra-slow, precise presentations, you could be handsomely rewarded. The stable high pressure and cold, clear conditions suggest that while fish are inactive, they're not completely shut down. It's a day for the dedicated angler, the one who understands winter nuances. Well, there you have it, friends, your detailed forecast for January 10th, 2026. I hope these insights help you brave the cold and find some fantastic fish. Remember, patience and proper technique are your best friends out there. So bundle up, stay safe, and from my boat to yours, I wish you all tight lines and ni chwosta, ni cheshui, which means neither tail nor scales. A traditional Russian fishing good luck wish. If you found this forecast helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. And tell me in the comments below, what's your go-to winter fishing technique? What's the biggest fish you've ever caught in January? Share your stories and tips with our amazing community.